Hello, my name is Guillaume, and I'm speaking from the United Nations University Institute for Water, Environment and Health, and this is the module on the SDG PSS components. I'm going to very briefly introduce you to the structure of the SDG PSS regarding the components that are presented in the system. So, the first screen you see is the home page. Then, you click in the button Components. You can see that we have Capacity, Finance, Policy and Institutional, Gender, Disaster Risk Reduction and Resilience, and Integrity. These are the 6 policy critical components. Then, you have a last component called Status. These are the components that experience shows are policy critical. That is, when we are talking about Sustainable Development Goal 6, we need to make achievements across all of these different components in order to make real progress against targets and indicators. For example, it's been long recognized that lack of human resources, lack of money, and sometimes weaknesses in governance all contribute to a lack of progress in the water sector, mainly in low and middle income countries. However, under the new Sustainable Development Goals, even high income countries are going to have some problems in realigning their policy in order to achieve SDG 6 by 2030. The critical components of SDG 6 were identified using 2 main criteria. First, by its ability to encourage the creation of national enabling environments to implement SDG 6. And second, whether the component is supported by at least one tool, system or framework, which is relevant to all SDG 6 targets and which can be or has already been adapted to an SDG context to use at national level. The component status aims to present water-related data and information to allow the assessment of each SDG 6 target and indicator. This component is expected to present to the SDG PSS as a collaboration tool, allowing different government partners to visualize all water-related datasets together, run simple scenarios, and present different aspirations outcomes. Now we have identified these policy critical components, and we don't want to add a burden into countries. That is, we don't want professionals, policymakers, and researchers to have to go out and start monitoring new things and collecting new data. Instead, these components rely on existing tools, which means that all the data that is in the PSS has been designed to align with international tools that already exist. For example, UNDP have a lot of indicators and methodologies and tools related to assessing capacity and building capacity and strength in countries. And there are several tools like wash cost and TrackFin which are already being used by countries to track finance progress. The SDG PSS draws on this through a set of questionnaires through which users can enter data for each one of these different policy critical components. Now, this means that the SDG PSS is quite complex in its design, and although we hope that it's user-friendly, it is not meant for one single person to be able to answer all the questions and input all the data that is needed. We are really looking at the SDG PSS as a collaboration platform. For example, one agency may have a lot of data on gender in water and sanitation issues, while a different agency or institution might have a lot of information around accountability. The goal of the SDG policy support system is to show strengths and weaknesses, where data is missing, gaps and opportunities across these components. And it aims to get people from different sectors, different agencies, and different institutions to work together towards SDG success. Some of these components, indicators, and targets will take years to collect data. There may be gaps in the SDG PSS for many years. However, we think that it's also important to highlight and that by using this SDG PSS, people can aim to collect better data, to create more evidence, and to work on the critical data that is missing. If you would like to know more about how to enter data and create evidence in the SDG PSS, please go to the next module. You can always use the user guide to learn more about how the SDG PSS works. Or you can join the discussion forum on the website. Please share your questions and comments.